Guys, okay, you're being recorded. This is just a courtesy notification so that you guys are aware that something is happening or something is not happening. And yeah, now moving on, we've been looking at what I call as the a lot on the engineering aspect of things. So we were looking at some of the things like what makes the different systems act to become a natural disaster, right? So this was one of the important things which we tried to see. So basically we saw earthquakes, okay, then we saw landslides, and we saw a little bit of floods, okay. As a direct outcome of this, we had tsunami. As an outcome of landslide, also we had tsunami. So floods, we have not seen probably what are the extreme weather system, although that extreme weather systems are not something which is going to be very different from what you see in floods. So maybe things like drought, heat wave, cold wave, okay. And let me say that a lot of other stuff which we are looking at, which are directly attributable to the weather systems. So we saw from within the earth, surface of the earth, and then we saw the atmospheric conditions. So they kind of cover almost all of the natural disasters which we talk about. In addition to this, we are also very keen on looking at how probably we are going to have something like extraterrestrial. So for example, solar storms, this is actually a reality, and probably many of the what I call as the circuit related branches will be very keen on, or should be very keen on, studying the effects of these solar storms and stuff like that, because they can knock out electrical grids, they can knock out circuits within my computer or in your computer, and a lot of such stuff. They essentially create a lot of noise. How are we going to overcome all of those things? Now moving on, we also have what we call as the falling of meteors and which can really cause a lot of damage, but that's all very rare, may not happen. Anything which can enter and touch the surface of the earth is always being monitored. So many comets, many such are being monitored. So maybe that may not be a really big concern, because even they have what you call as systems which they predict that you can go with a rocket and burst it into smaller sizes, so on and so forth. So end of the day, earth should be relatively safe thanks to the monitoring systems which we have. But that again brings into the forefront all the computation which you can do by sensing the presence of satellites, of these things, satellites which can hit into the earth. Now one more thing which we are not actually doing is the pandemic, and the biggest thing is that all of us are now part of this pandemic. It has now encompassed so many different people, and all of us kind of know what is to be done, what is not to be done in the event of a pandemic. And maybe like if you look at it, it's going to be known by almost 1 or 2 generations also down the line, that such a thing happened, and it will be fresh in the minds of general public, because there are estimates that say that this effect of this pandemic is going to be felt for almost 2 years. It also means that all of you who are sitting here in class, most of you are going to have to go into a very different kind of environment. For example, those of you who are in the final year, we don't really know what is going to be the way you are going to start working. So maybe you are going to give a feedback to your immediate juniors to say that this is how the working is this is how our industry is working outside, and then those of you in the second year are probably going to benefit from that kind of advice. So this pandemic is something which is not part of our syllabus, but I'm sure that all of us are going to be able to understand what is the effect of the pandemic. Okay, today I'm going to focus on a few things. Okay, so I am going to call this as post cat 1 to cat 2. So the syllabus coverage is very theoretical. Okay, so we will have, as we already told, module 1, module 2, and we will have a little bit of, I think I want to go straight to module 7. Okay, we will discuss whatever is going to happen in this one. Module 7 is yes, module 7. So mod 1, 2 and module 7 is what we are going to look at in this time, till like there are about 3 more weeks. So we will be we'll actually be able to rush through most of this, for a simple reason that we have already covered a lot of the important aspects in 3, 4 and 5. So module 1, 2 are going to be relatively simple. Okay, and whatever we have not covered in module 5 we will cover, and also module 6 we will cover in this post CAT 2, between CAT 2 and FAT. And I sincerely hope that you guys will be able to join us in VIT, because slowly in September schools are all starting, so I don't see why colleges should not start. And maybe the strength 70 in a class may or may not be acceptable. Maybe our class will still be in distance mode. I don't know how it's going to be, but in any case I sincerely hope that you'll be able to join us. And CAT 2 also, like I don't know whether what would be the mode, but if it is going to be paper and pen, I'll be happy, because in any case you will have more of a theory based approach to this one. Maybe it will be a good idea to even discuss the CAT 2 pattern right now. So I'll come back to CAT 2. I think we'll do that right now. So CAT 2 exam pattern. Now let us assume that it is going to be something in the online mode. Okay, so let me put this as part A and part B. So let me call out somebody from your class. Okay, Garg, Sanchit Garg. Sanchit Garg, can you unmute yourself, please? Sanchit Garg, are you around? Sanchit Garg. Okay, Sayan Das. Sayan Das. Sayan Das, can you unmute yourself? Shane Doyle Jose. Guys, what's happening here? Most of you. Yes. Oh, Sayan, I don't know whether you are having problem with your mic, but I would have appreciated if you could have just said hello. In any case, I wonder who's Jose. Are you online, Jose?
Hello, sir.
Yes. Okay. Given a choice, how much of party would you like? Like MCQs?
For CAT 2.
CAT 2. When the memory is fresh, I think that is the best time to set a question paper. I mean pattern.
I don't know. I think the same 15 MCQs.
15 MCQs?
Yeah.
Okay.
10 marks MCQ and 5 marks true or false.
Fine. Okay. 5 marks true or false. And can we do you feel that the same number of MCQs should be there, or can we reduce the MCQs? Because I was thinking that most of the people are complaining that the MCQs were too time consuming.
Okay, yeah, then a few MCQs can be reduced, because even I also felt MCQs.
Yeah, so because see, the thing is that to be very honest, all these exams are not to put you down, it's to make you feel comfortable in most of the things. And believe me, in many of the things, life is the person who's going to evaluate you, not John, not most of your faculty members. None of us are going to evaluate you in the game of life. So I don't know, like I have not got the answer. Some method of evaluation is still required, but I still feel that there's a lot of room for improvement. That's why I feel compelled to ask, this has been my habit throughout, be it for the fat, be it for the cat, whatever. I always had the students in my confidence before it was their call in many of the things. So Jose, can you tell me how many can we keep as MCQs?
Sir, I think it's better to keep like 40% MCQs and 40% of the entire mark weightage.
Okay, 40% MCQs,
That can be
10% true or false, right? And 50% of objectives.
yeah.
Okay, so this is the mark distribution which you are given. So I think that is fair enough. So when it comes to it, it is again 5 marks, and I think you had you had totally the evaluation for 30, right? 30 marks. Okay, so that means I have 3 marks of true or false, and then we will have 4 3s are 12 marks of MCQ. Okay, and part B, it will be 50. Okay, 50 is 15, 15, so 7.5 into 2. Okay, 7.5 marks into 2 numbers, okay, of questions. Guys, I think this is looking fair enough. Any MCQ which is having what we call as the more than one right, okay, will have 2 mark credit. Okay, that will be less than 30% of the entire mark schedule as we already discussed, but you will not have the same weightage in CAT, or if suppose God forbid FAT also is going to be like this, we will not have it in this manner. Guys, any disagreement on this? If you have any disagreement, you are welcome to put it right now. Oops. Okay, I take it that unanimously all of us have agreed on this, and I think this is also fair enough. If suppose, okay, time is currently 45 minutes as per the Dean Academics mail. Initially it was considered as half an hour. If there is any change in the either the pattern, if suppose there is any change in the time duration, I will also look at changing the pattern. Is it okay with all of you? I take it that it's okay. So if you have any objection, like you say it now, or as they told in our wedding, okay, forever hold your peace. Right. So this is about CAT 2. Now let me move on to another very important thing, assignments. Okay. Now, as of now, immediately you are to identify the NGO. Okay, so no two NGOs should be the same. Okay, you are expected to write a few things about the NGO. I think the thing is already given. So what is their funding model, what is the areas where they work, okay, what are the salient things, okay, how they do it, and you also please add what you like about that NGO. Okay, so the longer you wait, the lesser are the chances that you will be able to get the what you call as the you will get an NGO. Okay, now identify an NGO. It's very specific, working in the area of rebuilding, or area of disaster assistance. So when I say assistance, it is mitigation, post rehabilitation, and so on and so forth, right? So this is one assignment which you have, and then you are expected to do either what you call as a social thing, LinkedIn posts or YouTube videos. So already the instructions have been given for both of these, and I sincerely hope that you guys have started to work in this area, right? So I hope that you guys have started to work in getting a solution for this one. Okay, now any questions regarding assignment, any questions regarding any other item which you feel you would like me to address?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Is it compulsory to choose an NGO that specifically works in disaster management?
That's right. That's right, Zainab. You have to. Is it Zainab only, right? Okay. So it is mandatory that you work only in the disaster area, because see, for example, Spastic Society is there. So many other nice organizations are also there. Okay, which are in fact the Spastic Society has what you call as, very specifically been identified this time for talking about this disaster. I mean, like, not disaster. They were the person who was running it was honored as the best social worker in Tamil Nadu this year. So the point I wish to make is that there are other very good organizations also which are not looking at the government for support, but you look at those which are working in disaster area, for the simple reason that we are this course is on disaster management. Okay, is it okay? Right, I take it that it's an yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, so if you have any question, you please let me know. Any other questions? Right,
Excuse me, sir.
yes, please.
Sir, again, we need a proper study material for CAT 2, sir, because
What do you mean by proper? No, what do you define proper study material? Because you have been given the natural disaster management manuals which our government prescribes. What do you feel is better than that?
Okay, sir. I refer few things, sir, but
Okay.
but I can't able to understand and answer for the few questions.
Which question? I mean, like, can you tell which question in particular? Like, what kind of question was it that annoyed you? Or would you prefer to discuss this in private? No, I'm serious, because sometimes, I don't want to ask you an embarrassing question in forum.
And it will be fine to discuss in private only, sir.
No problem. Okay. What do you have class after this period? If
No,
you
sir, after 2 only, sir.
after 2 only your class, okay, then you just call me around 12:15, because immediately after this class I have a call to make. Okay, so at that time you have my phone number. Feel free to discuss. I'll also try to help you in understanding that whatever we are having is sufficient. Is it okay, Jagan?
Okay, sir.
Okay. I mean, like, in the sense that is my perception of things. So if you're looking at, if you want to see, for example, I don't know if you're able to see the book, the Microsoft, because I'm using this uh, thing, like, this background changer, it is not allowing me to see. Wait a minute, I'll just show you the books. I have quite a few books, in fact. I don't mind showing you guys that books are available, and it's up to you to buy the books or this one. All right. Okay, I don't know whether you're able to see it. Okay, but just a minute, please. Yeah. Okay, this is Principles and Theory of Geoinformatics, PK Garg. This is one of the textbooks which, I can't say it's a proper textbook, but it's one of the books which I'll be using in the course of this during this course. And in addition to that, I do have quite a lot of books. They are not around with me right now. Okay, this is Disaster Management by S.C. Sharma. This is again by Kanna Publications. And so yeah, if suppose you want books, there are other books which you can definitely get. They are available on Amazon, but I feel that all of these books are nothing but a subset of the other books. I mean, like, in the next class probably I'll just display some of the other books which I have. We are also having what we call as some of the there are a lot of research papers which are there on disaster management. I don't know how much many of you will be interested to make this as a research level of paper. So because I do have those books also, like, where we had very specific studies that show the correlation between different events, like, such and such event happens, then such and such thing is going to be the impact. But I think this is more of a thing where you have to safeguard your life and your property and your near ones, etc. Okay, so I take it that you don't want it as a research paper that we are, research which we are doing in this course. Okay, right. So anyway, the thing is that I feel that there is enough material and you can get any material which you want. That's up to you, like how much you want, how little you want. It's something which we can't tell. Okay, and moving on, any other thing? Right. So if there's nothing else right now, I will move on to showcasing the syllabus. Now if you look at the syllabus, see this item number 6 over here is highly what you call as it is something which is going to be very, very practical, in the sense that it is going to be a direct application of whatever be the branch of engineering which you are in, and that is something which is very dear to me. I say it is dear to me because I feel that whatever we study, we should be in a position to apply. So in that way, this is a paper that is going to really, that topic is something where you really can apply whatever you have studied, be it whether you are a civil engineering student or something else, like any other subject, you will be in a position to appreciate and also apply what you have done. And the thing is that we are still, I'm still planning to go along with module number 7 as we saw in the beginning. So this is a very important thing in terms of the work which any of your NGO, the NGOs which you identify are most likely going to work in any one of these areas. So that way this is going to be of significance, right? So now this is the syllabus, plain and simple, to put it as what we are going to do in our forthcoming CAT exam. So this is going to be a lot of story, the first part. Okay, so I am not going to definitely say in the year 1920 what happened, or 1945 what was a significant event. I will try my best to avoid such questions where you will be tested for memory, but then natural disaster risk assessment is something which you will be definitely asked about. Here I want you to be in a position to correlate whatever is there in the unit 3, 4 and 5. In other words, suppose we are saying that make a risk assessment for floods occurring. I really want you to go through all the what you call as the relevant materials which we have seen. For example, the contour of the place should be in a manner, this is in the YouTube video which you would have had. Okay, it should be in a manner that it is not going to have the lowest point in the place where you are planning your facility. Okay, or we again, if you remember in the YouTube videos, you would have had the details on how the Palikarnai marsh was taken over by humans for settlement. They used it as a sanitary landfill. So at one point, the garbage has got accumulated to a lot, to such an extent that the entire marsh has become almost like not a marsh. It has become a much higher level place where water is very unlikely to go and settle down, and it also caused the marsh to drain, and people started to do a lot of construction activities. So those kind of things is what I want you to be able to correlate. So don't tell in my grandfather's time, some people start to write stories. It will be sounding so nice, okay, but we are going to write a technical thing. Okay, we are going to look at ways by which the technology can be used to protect ourselves. So Earth and its characters, again, a lot of the characters of the Earth you have studied, but now we will probably go in for something a little more deeper, right? So in this particular light, you will find that this environmental change and degradation, this topic is going to be a very significant one, where we'll again try our best to correlate it with the hazards, with some of the natural disasters which we skipped, like extreme weather, okay, global warming, impact of global warming on climate systems. So stuff like that is something which we are going to definitely look at. And as usual, we have always been telling that human, as long as human beings are staying out of the way of nature, there is no problem. So here we will be probably going into it a little deeper. Okay, now most of you will be working on this NGO aspect, right? So when you're going through the NGO which of your choice, you'll be looking at a lot of things like how they are working. So what was the difference that they made in different communities? Because one of the things you'll see is, one, to attract you towards funding them, they'll also be looking at what we'll say as showcasing their success stories. Everybody will be saying this is what was the situation in this particular community. We went and then we brought in a change, right? So very honestly, you will find that many of the things, there was one student, that girl was a star student, that is the from like each of the state where our university is located, so be it Andhra or be it Bhopal, from that particular state they take students who are they have certain criteria, who are first generation learners, who are toppers. And one such girl was doing electrical engineering she was about 6 or 7 years ago. So later on she's made a transformation in taking her knowledge of electrical engineering and teaching people on how to be self-reliant with solar power. Especially she was targeting the women of Tamil Nadu in the most rural places. Okay, and she was giving this what you call as her testimony on the change she was able to bring in along with the NGO that she was working. So this kind of things not only inspire people to join in with join hands with these people, it also brings in a huge transformation, and this is what makes NGOs very special. So if you look at here, they have talked about role of UN and NDRF. Okay, so Siddhant Saroj, you are requesting control for any specific reason, I don't know, but I am denying it unless you wish to explain why you would like to have control. Now if you look at India, okay, we have the NDRF and we have special teams. I feel that more than looking at the I have nothing against UN or Red Cross, but I feel that we should be aware of what we are doing also. So you please don't tell me that this is not part of the syllabus. I feel that it's a matter of national pride also that we look at this. So all of these other things, like all of these things are stuff which we'll be looking at. And again, if you look at this particular part, we speak about vulnerable populations. Okay, just a minute, I don't know. So what is happening is, we talk about vulnerable populations. So a population is nothing but a community at large, right? And what makes a community very successful is when the people are there together to fight a threat. Okay, you will find that it is going to make a very big difference. So in working with communities, some of the challenges are, we have very different people, mindset of people is different, their aspiration is different. Sometimes it is also their willingness to accept something is very different. See, for example, I don't know if you would have heard about, I don't know how many of you are not happy about having a toilet in the home, but there are many people who feel that having a toilet in the living area, like where you live, is very bad. So you should go to the forest, you should go to the, wherever. This is still the belief of some people. So today maybe you and I will laugh. Arey, what is the problem? It's more comfortable to have an attached bath in my bedroom rather than having a common bathroom. Even if you go now to many of the villages in Tamil Nadu, you will find that the toilet is outside the house. So you will not have a toilet inside the house. Just like how in many of the cultures in India still, it is not acceptable to wear footwear into the house. Toilets are not acceptable. So many times when you're trying to bring in a change, you will have to be very sensitive to what is the community's perception of the change, right? So there are also psychological effects and other things which we are going to talk about. And today also, if you see, one of the main things that we talk about is managing stress of online education. I don't know what is causing stress to you, whether John is boring you to death or other things, I don't know. But there is also the thing that many children are there who don't have access to devices. One of the things which of late happened was in Kerala, where there are houses without TVs, which caused distress to the children. Okay, today I don't know how many of you are having multiple devices, right? And then saying no, I don't have internet. Okay, so many people tell me so many things, but anyway, I am just asking you to assess what you have and count your blessings. Okay, and believe me, we are, at least I am feeling very blessed with the infrastructure which I am able to have in not only for teaching, but also for so many other things like preparing or whatever we are doing. So when you are looking at stress, stress can happen because of so many things which we are not aware of, right? We don't know, when I say I as a teacher, I don't know what is the stress which you are facing. Is it stress caused because you have not prepared yourself for getting a job, and or is it because of something which we are doing? Okay, so maybe we are being unfair to you in expecting things which we are ourselves not able to do. Okay, this is one of the benchmarks which I usually try to keep. Am I going to be able to do something before I ask any of you to do the same thing? So I don't know, when I talk about other people's stress, I also need to kind of be sensitive to the fact that you guys could be under stress. So I personally feel that we can help you in mitigate the stress. So you can always speak with us. We will try to help you, and it might not always be the solution which you want. Okay, because we are also duty bound to look at the common good. So, but one thing is certain, we can definitely speak with any of you and manage your own stress. Now coming back to your syllabus, so if you look at it, we are having what is called as the education and training. So basically you are having some kind of basic training into understanding how you can prevent like your house from falling on top of your head. What should you do to protect yourself from landslides? So when a choice is given to you, we expect that you think. For example, one of the important things I want you to know is, it is nothing but soil is going to slide. So which part of the soil is going to slide? That is something which probably an engineer can do. But is the solution given? Is the solution that we are going to give a retaining wall here? We are making a bench here. We are also going to protect downslope. Okay, we are going to have so many techniques. All of these things should come to your mind when you are looking at a potential for landslide, potential for liquefaction. It's something which probably many of us might not have even heard of, but then that is also a reality. It may not happen much in India, but I am sure that many of you are not going to be always only in India. So wherever you go, that what is going to be of relevance to you, it should come to your mind, and this is what training is expected to do, right? Although we don't what you call as reinforce many of the trainings which is offered to you, I think it's in your own interest that you do all of this stuff. So it is almost time to finish. So I hope that all of you have filled in your attendance. Okay, please do not miss filling your attendance. Okay, I don't want to keep repeating this to you about attendance especially. So do you have any questions, please?